first press conference post session week. As you know, we're streaming this live, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, but let me go over a few things. At this point, there's 1,011 House bills that have been introduced. There's 629 Senate bills that have been introduced for a total of 1,640 bills. There are no bills that have passed the House or the Senate. In 2010, which was the last general session, there were 1,441 House bills passed and 790 Senate bills passed for a total of 2231. That was 2 years ago, the last general session. So as you see, we're down a little bit on the number of bills filed. Of course, when's the filing deadline, Jessica? Is it the filing deadline?
Oh, the pre-filing deadline Tuesday by 6.
Tuesday by 6. So we'll probably have a few more bills. So with that said, I'll be happy to answer any questions or try to answer any questions.
Can I ask about the retirement bills and when you see some of those, some of the government retirement proposals getting hearings?
We're working through that right now. We really don't have a definite date. Obviously, a lot of the attention, the focus has been on the education pieces. And I'm having discussions with President Alario about exactly where those retirement bills will start. So at this point in time, I don't have a definite date. It obviously won't be next week, so it'll be after the Easter holidays.
So it won't be next week? Is that what you said?
No, I don't. It won't be on the House side for sure next week. So.
What about the legacy legislation?
I know the two sides were working through those issues, trying to come to some kind of compromise on the differences of where they were and where they wanted to go. And I haven't had an update in the last couple of days on where those negotiations are. So I'm sure probably the first part of next week I'll get an update on that, and then we'll see what's going on there.
Chuck, have y'all had conversations with the Senate about trying to keep amendments off the governor's education bill so they don't have to come back to the House?
Well, I think in a perfect world, the House would like to see, we'd like to see no amendments on, because we think when it left here, it was in a pretty good posture. But there's always the opportunity to maybe improve the legislation a little bit more, so it could happen. Just from what I read in the paper this morning, it looks like in committee, no amendments will get on. But once you get on the floor, we don't know what could happen. But we're very pleased with the legislation as it left here. The House is.
Any other questions?
Oh, I do. Maybe else does.
So one follow-up on one question about the retirement. Is there going to be an effort to pass those bills this year, or is it kind of now that the education bills passed?
No, I think the retirement legislation or the pension reform is still on the table, and I think I think there's still going to be some discussion. I think they're going to still be heard, and I think there will be an effort to pass the legislation.
Have there been discussions of possibly modifying the bills in a way that might make them more palatable to people?
That's always an open discussion, not only on this legislation but on all legislation. Yeah, there are discussions to modify legislation to make it better and to make it more palatable.
And in your conversations with members, are you getting the sense that they couldn't pass the way they stand right now?
My conversation with members over the last 2 weeks has been strictly about education. But as we move past this education piece, we'll get into the pension reform, and obviously we have budget. And as was mentioned earlier, we have the legacy issues coming up. We have some healthcare issues coming up. So we have a lot of issues on our plate this session. So we've got we just finished week 3. So what's that? 25% of the session is done. So we're moving through it. But we only have 12 weeks, so we have to. You've got to pace yourself, and we still have some very, the budget's going to take a lot of time. There's a lot of work to be done on the budget. So,
you had teachers from your area here protesting this week, and I know some folks have filed a recall petition against you. Did you have individual conversations with some of the folks who came here and and do you have concerns about the petition?
Superintendent White and I met with 7 teachers and principals Tuesday when they came to Baton Rouge. We spent well over an hour with them. Superintendent White heard their concerns. The principals and teachers voiced their concerns. And I think at the end of the hour plus meeting, they were very satisfied with their answers that they got from Superintendent White. Not that they completely agreed on everything he said, but I think they were very satisfied with his answers, the way he responded, and it was, you know, there's a lot of misinformation, misunderstanding out there about the legislation, about Act 54. But with the open discussion that they had with Superintendent White, I think they felt better once they left the room. And again, they're not in complete 100% lockstep with the superintendent, but they feel better with the direction the legislation's moving. Now, with that said, also, I did tell them at the end of the meeting that it's in all legislation that, you know, there's always opportunities for improvement. And if we don't have it right for some reason this year, we can always come back, as the legislature does many times, and modify the legislation or the bill.
Any concerns about the recall petition?
You know, it's not about me. It's about the children of the state of Louisiana. That's what this is all about. It's about improving education in the state. It's about what can we do to reform our education system. We've all seen the statistics. We're ranked 48th in the nation. And we've got to work through that and improve that.